Imagine a melody so sticky it clings to the collective brain like gum on a boot sole, popping up in dive bars, stadiums, and even those awkward funeral playlists where someone's trying too hard to be profound. Yeah, we're talking about that one Bob Dylan tune that's been battered, bruised, and reborn more times than a Hollywood reboot. It's got this eerie pull, like a ghost whispering regrets through a harmonica, and buried under its simple chords are layers of Wild West shootouts, near-death epiphanies, and enough cultural shrapnel to fill a museum. Stick around, because we're about to unearth the chaos that birthed it, from a dusty film set to global anthems, with a few eyebrow-raising twists that might just make you spit out your coffee. Let's rewind to the early 70s, when Bob Dylan, that enigmatic bard with a voice like gravel gargling whiskey, found himself roped into Hollywood's rodeo. Picture this. Sam Peckinpah, the director known for turning westerns into blood-soaked ballets, is helming Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, a flick starring Chris Christophersonis, the outlaw kid, and James Coburn as the grizzled sheriff. Dylan, fresh off his folk protest glory days, gets a cameo as a quirky side character named Alias, because why not? He's the guy lurking in the background, probably pondering life's absurdities while everyone else is dodging bullets. But Peckinpah doesn't stop at a walk-on. He tasks Dylan with scoring the soundtrack. Enter Knockin' on Heaven's Door, penned specifically for a heart-wrenching scene where a deputy sheriff, played by Slim Pickens, is gut-shot and fading out in the arms of his wife, Katie Gerardo. It's February 1973, Burbank Studios, and Dylan's churning out this gem amid the film's chaotic production. Think on-set brawls, Peckinpah's legendary boozing, and a script that kept rewriting itself like a bad breakup text. Now, unpack those lyrics, because they're deceptively straightforward, like a cowboy's poker face hiding a royal flush. Mama, take this badge off of me. I can't use it anymore. That's the dying lawman shedding his identity, his burdens, that shiny symbol of authority now just dead weight. Roots? Straight from the film's narrative, the sheriff's pleading with his mama, which is Gerardo's character, as the light dims. But dig deeper. It's echoing ancient themes of mortality, the knock-knock on eternity's gate, inspired by frontier myths where lawmen faced the reaper with a mix of regret and resignation. Dylan called it an exercise in splendid simplicity, but oh, the irony, simple enough to become a blank canvas for every artist with a guitar and a grudge. And here's a cheeky what-if. Imagine if Dylan had written it from Billy the Kid's perspective instead. Mama, put my guns in the ground. But wait, one more showdown? Nah, that would have turned it into an outlaw banger, not this poignant dirge. The album Saga. Buckle up for some 70s record label drama that rivals a soap opera. The soundtrack, Pat Garrett and Amp, Billy the Kid, drops in July 1973 via Columbia Records, with Dylan not just composing but co-producing alongside Gordon Carroll. It's a mishmash of instrumentals and vocals, clocking in under 35 minutes, short and sweet, like a quick-draw duel. But the launch? Pure turmoil. The film bombs at the box office, riddled with editing wars between Peckinpah and the studio, MGM slashing it to bits before release. Dylan's score gets caught in the crossfire, yet Knockin' emerges as the breakout single in August, climbing to number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100. Not bad for a tune slapped together in a session that probably smelled of stale coffee and cigarette ash. Fun fact, the B-side was Turkey Chase, an upbeat bluegrass romp. Talk about tonal whiplash, like pairing a eulogy with a hoedown. And in a twist of fate, Dylan doesn't even perform it live until 1974, but once he does, it's a staple, racking up over 460 shows by 2003. Imagine the royalties. The man's probably bought a small country off those checks. As it ascends to legend status, the song morphs like a chameleon on acid. First off the blocks, Eric Clapton in 1975, who hears a reggae version by Arthur Louis, featuring Slowhand himself on guitar, and decides to cover it straight up rock style for his album. It charts modestly at number 38 in the UK, but sets the tone for reinterpretations. Then, bam, Guns N' Roses storm in during the late 80s, turning it into a hair metal powerhouse. Axl Rose and crew debut it live in 87, slap a studio cut on the Days of Thunder soundtrack in 90, and refine it for Use Your Illusion 2 in 91. Their version peaks at number 2 in the UK, goes platinum, and becomes synonymous with leather pants and pyrotechnics, a far cry from Dylan's nasal twang. Sarcastic aside, if Dylan was knocking politely, GNR was kicking the door down with steel-toed boots. And don't get me started on the Freddie Mercury tribute concert in 92, where they belted out to a stadium roaring like a beast awakened. But wait, the Quirky aftermath? That's where it gets deliciously weird. Enter the 1996 Dunblane tribute. After a horrific school shooting in Scotland, musician Ted Christopher rewrites a verse with Dylan's rare blessing. The man who guards his lyrics like a dragon hoarding gold actually allows changes. Featuring kids' voices and Mark Knopfler on guitar, it tops the UK charts, with proceeds aiding charities. Heartbreaking and hopeful, like a rainbow after a storm of bullets. Then there's Gabrielle's 2000 hit Rise, sampling Dylan's chords. He waives fees and gets co-credit, proving even folk gods can be generous. Obscure nugget. In 2003, Warren Zevon, facing terminal cancer, records a gut-wrenching cover with pals, his voice cracking like old leather. A real knock on that door. And for the absurd, a 2009 handwritten lyric sheet on hotel stationery fetches $95,250 at auction. What if some fan frames it and uses it as a doorstop? Poetic justice. Culturally, this track's ripple effects are tidal waves. Ranked 190th on Rolling Stone's Greatest Songs list in 2004, it's infiltrated everything from anti-war protests, twisted into chants against Vietnam echoes, to movie soundtracks and TV montages. Remember I'm Not There, the Dylan biopic? Or its nods in video games and ads? It's the ultimate earworm, spawning parodies, puns, and even a fake sequel joke about legging it round the corner an amp, hiding behind heaven's hedge. Observational zinger. In a world obsessed with immortality via selfies, here's a song reminding us we're all just one bad day from that knock. And Dylan's genius? Crafting something so universal it outlives trends, like a vinyl record in a streaming apocalypse. One more tangent. Ever wonder why it resonates? Those repetitive knock-knock-knockin' hooks burrow in, mimicking a heartbeat fading out. Or maybe it's Dylan's delivery, raw, unpolished, like he's confessing over a bar tab. What if Jimi Hendrix covered it? Wait, he kinda praised Dylan's off-key bravery, saying after hearing the words, "I got it." Too bad Jimmy left us before he could shred it into psychedelic oblivion. Wrapping this up before I start knocking on your patience's door, if this wild ride through Dylan's masterpiece tickled your funny bone or unearthed a fact that blew your mind, smash that like button like it's a saloon door in a western brawl. Subscribe to the Rock Lore Vault for more unfiltered dives into rock's underbelly, and drop a comment. What's your favorite cover, or that one lyric that hits different? Until next time, keep the music playing, because in this crazy world, we're all just knocking along.